Cynthia Erivo literally won a Tony, got disowned by her father, was told that she'd never make it in Hollywood, and is now Oscar nominated for playing the most iconic role in musical theatre. And that's just the beginning. We talked about elphaba and how standing up for what's right matters more than being liked. But now, I want to show you what that looks like in real life. Because Cynthia Erivo's journey to playing elphaba isn't just about landing a role. It's about becoming living proof that your difference is your power. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why 20 years of preparation meeting one perfect opportunity isn't just luck, it's strategy. Why being told that you don't belong can become your fuel, and why Cynthia's story is actually a masterclass for becoming an it girl by refusing to be anything but exactly who you are. If you're new here, hi angels, I'm Jo, and on this channel we talk everything about how to achieve your goals, how to learn to step into your highest and most aligned self, and how to achieve productivity and balance in order to live the life that you actually want. So if that sounds like the kind of content you're interested in, then this might be the place for you. So Cynthia was born in Stockwell, South London, to Nigerian immigrant parents. Her mother Edith fled Nigeria during the Civil War, came to the UK, worked as a nurse, and raised Cynthia and her sister alone after separating from their father. And here's where it gets real fast. When Cynthia was 16, her father disowned her publicly in front of people, just cut her off completely. She says, "I didn't see it coming because, you know, what a 16-year-old would. At the time, I was heartbroken because it was public when it happened as well." Now think about elphaba's relationship with her father and Wicked. He's ashamed of her, he rejects her because she's different, and that rejection shapes everything about how she sees herself. Cynthia says about playing elphaba, there were so many real parallels. The relationship with her father, the relationship to be in spaces that don't really include you. The feelings you see in the movie are very real feelings. So this is the first thing that you need to understand about becoming an it girl. And by the way, if you enjoy content like this, I actually have a full playlist breaking down all the it girls of our generation. I'm talking about Jenny Kim, Chappell Roan, Hailey Bieber, Madison Beer. I talk about and break down their mindsets, their journeys, the lessons that we can learn from and implement them into our own lives so that you can learn how to become your very own it girl. So if you're interested, I'll leave the link to that playlist up here. So the first thing you need to understand about becoming an it girl is that your pain can become your power if you transform it into purpose. Cynthia didn't let that rejection break her, but she let it fuel her. She named her production company Edith's Daughter after her mother, not her father. She chose who got to define her. But here's where most people get Cynthia's story wrong. They think Wicked is her breakthrough, but it's not. It's just her vindication. She started performing at just age 5, singing Silent Night at a school play. At age 11, she was in the Caucasian Chalk Circle. At age 15, she was performing Shakespeare at the Young Vic. She studied music psychology at the University of East London, but dropped out after a year because she realized that it just wasn't her calling. And thank goodness she did that, because after that, she got accepted into the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is one of the most prestigious acting schools in the world. But even at RADA, she faced resistance. One of her mentors said that she struggled to fit in because of her unflappable confidence. Think about that. She was too confident for their comfort. But she graduated in 2010 and started working immediately. Small roles, UK tours, building her craft in silence, even when nobody was watching. Then in 2013, she gets cast in The Colour Purple at the Menier Chocolate Factory in London. And this is a tiny theatre. It's not Broadway. This is not really glamorous. But Cynthia pours everything into it, and critics lose their minds. The performance was so powerful that Broadway producers brought the production to New York in 2015. And here's where it gets good. Cynthia makes her Broadway debut and wins the Tony Award for the Best Actress in a Musical. The New York Times even called her an incandescent star. She's made it, right? She's proven herself, she's a Tony winner. She comes back to London, Tony trophy in hand, and the Royal National Theatre, the symbol of British theatrical excellence, offers her a role in Pinocchio as the Blue Fairy, with 2 pages of lines. She says 2 sheets. I had just won the Tony on a New York stage playing Lee, and they gave me 2 sheets to perform. I'll never forget that as long as I live. This is crucial. Success doesn't protect you from rejection. Being excellent doesn't guarantee respect. Sometimes you will prove yourself and you'll still be underestimated. But here's what Cynthia did. She didn't try and shrink herself to fit their limited version of her, but she kept building. She transitions to film, Widows, Bad Times at the El Royale, and Harriet in a biopic. She gets Oscar nominated for Best Actress and Best Original Song because she co-wrote and performed Stand Up. She plays Aretha Franklin in Genius, and you can see that she's building this incredible body of work where she only takes the roles of women who refused to shrink. Every character Cynthia plays is a woman who stood for something. Celie in The Color Purple, surviving and reclaiming power. Harriet Tubman, freedom fighter. Aretha Franklin, demanding respect. And now elphaba, choosing justice over acceptance. She's not just playing these women, she's embodying their spirit in her own career. When Cynthia auditioned for Wicked, she'd been studying the music since she was 20. At age 23, before she could even afford the ticket to go see the show, she knew the entire score by heart. She says, "By the time I was 25, when I could afford a ticket to go to the West End, I bought myself a solo ticket and took myself on a date. It was my birthday to see Wicked." She was preparing for this role for 15 years before she even auditioned for it. This is what chance favors the prepared actually means. Cynthia didn't get lucky with Wicked. She prepared for 15 years so that when the opportunity came, she was ready to own it. While other people were waiting for the perfect moment, she was studying, training, building, becoming. Remember how elphaba is so defensive at first? No, I'm not seasick. Yes, I've always been green. Getting there before the rejection even comes? Cynthia says it's a protective mechanism to get there before everyone else. She knows that feeling. Being the only black woman in rooms full of white men, being told that she's too confident, being given 2-page roles after just winning a Tony. But playing elphaba helped transform that defensiveness into power. She says, "The thing elphaba taught me was not to be afraid of my insecurities and my vulnerabilities." And I know sometimes as women, we prioritize other people's opinions over our own. We shrink ourselves so we don't stand out, sacrificing our own interests and refusing to take that first step towards what we actually want because we're afraid. Afraid of what others would think, afraid of their judgment. And I know because I've been there. But I didn't let my fears stop me from chasing my dreams. If I had given in to that fear, you wouldn't even be watching this video today. So if you've been wanting to finally take your dreams more seriously, to finally take that first step towards your goals, I've put together a free PDF breaking down step by step how I overcame the fear of being seen and basically freed myself from the cage that was my own mind. And I'm also building a community of like-minded, badass, ambitious women where we can encourage and be inspired by one another. So I'll leave the links to those down below if you're interested. Now let's talk about the work. Cynthia completely reimagined how to sing these songs. Composer Stephen Schwartz told her, "I trust your storytelling, just do what you need to do." She studied every emotional beat. She added growls, laughs, variations in her voice to help tell the story. She didn't just sing the notes, she inhabited them. During Defying Gravity, she insisted on doing her own stunts, flying on wires while hitting those notes because she wanted it to be real. And here's something powerful. A black actress has never played elphaba as a principal performer on Broadway. Never, in over 20 years of the show running. For a musical about being judged for the color of your skin, about being ostracized for being different, about prejudice and oppression, they had never cast a black woman in a lead on Broadway until Cynthia in the movie. This is what being an it girl actually means. It's not about fitting into the space that they make for you. It's about creating your own space when they won't make the room. Cynthia didn't wait for Broadway to cast her as elphaba. She became so undeniable that when they made the movie, she was the only choice. Wicked opened to $114 million. Defying Gravity hit #1. Cynthia is Oscar nominated. Critics are calling her performance astonishing and a revelation. But here's what's wow. This isn't surprising if you've been paying attention. This is 20 years of disciplined preparation meeting the perfect opportunity. And can we talk about her friendship with Ariana? Cynthia says they talk almost every day. They have a deeply honest relationship outside of work. This is two women supporting each other instead of competing. This is what it looks like when women choose collaboration over comparison. But the most beautiful part of Cynthia's journey is this. She didn't change who she was to succeed. She just became more of who she already is. She's openly queer and bisexual. She advocates for social justice. She speaks truth about the industry's mistreatment of Black women. She refuses to shrink. And the world is finally catching up to what she's always known, that she deserves this, that she earned this. People are calling Cynthia an overnight success with Wicked, but she's been building for 20 years. She won a Tony 9 years ago. She's been Oscar nominated before. The overnight success is just when the world finally pays attention to the work you've been doing in the dark. Cynthia Erivo's story teaches us that being an it girl isn't about being discovered. It's about being undeniable. It's about preparing so thoroughly such that when your moment comes, you're ready to own it. It's about being so excellent in your craft that they can't ignore you. It's about standing in your difference instead of apologizing for it. So here's my question for you. What's your Wicked? That thing you've been studying, building towards, getting ready for, even though the opportunity hasn't come yet. Because Cynthia proves that preparation isn't wasted time. It's compound interest. Every skill you build, every rejection you learn from, every time you choose yourself, it's all building towards something. So drop a comment down below and tell me. What's one skill you're going to master this coming year, even if you don't see the opportunity for it just yet? Because Cynthia didn't become an it girl by being likable or by trying to fit in. She became one by being so undeniably excellent that the world had no choice but to make space for her. And that strategy, that's available to all of us. Until next time, take care of your heart, your mind, and your dreams. I'll see you in the next video very soon.